Hey man, I do what I do.
And how these politicians have gotten filthy rich off your tax dollars, and why this moment right now could be the most important political reckoning in our lifetime, if not in the history of the United States. That's what we're looking at. That's how significant this is. Because I don't want you all to make any mistakes. Justice is coming. You understand me? And a lot of powerful people are about to find out what happens when American people wake up. All right, so y'all go ahead and get your popcorn. But here's the thing. I want to, and thank you for everybody who's contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Thank you guys so much. And if, again, as I always say, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And if you learn something, you know, I would appreciate you showing me that you learned something by contributing. Only if you learn something. You didn't learn anything, you don't got to give me $1, nothing. But if you learn something, if I teach you something, if I help you answer some questions, then, you know, pay for the quality, pay for the lesson, and, you know, do what you do. But here's the thing. Again, I'm watching these Democrats and they have full-blown meltdown mode. They are doing everything they can to stop this audit, because that's what it is. They even trying to discredit people behind it, right? Right? If they could look, if they could burn the evidence before it reaches the public, they would. They tried to subpoena Elon Musk. Okay, think about that. The same man who revolutionized space travel, built the world's most advanced AI company, is now exposing the corruption in our government at its highest level. And they're trying to drag him in front of Congress as if he's a criminal. Why? It's simple. Because they can't control this man. He's too rich to be bought. They don't have the money to buy him. He doesn't have a criminal record. Okay? And he's out here getting receipts. Because this agency called Doge is working faster than they can keep up with. And every day that passes, more and more of their dirty laundry is getting aired out. Then, after that didn't work, they tried to smear them young kids. All right, the ones who are leading the audits, who are probably they are literally sleeping in the facilities. I don't even think they're taking any salaries. But again, they're some of the brightest minds in tech and data analytics. Handpicked for the skills. Many of them did interns and whatnot, right? They're complaining about they're too young. You should get somebody who's 30. They're complaining because we got a bunch of 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Now, here's what I find out right. You saying they too young. I know it's some young fellas out here who are in the Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, Air Force. You might control a whole platoon and you might be 21 or 22 years old. They'll put you on the front lines with a rifle and your squad and send you out there to defend this country, but they're saying you're too young to operate a computer in an air-conditioned building owned by the federal government in DC. Think about that rationale. It doesn't even make sense. Okay? They call these young men too young and too experienced. You see what I'm saying? You mean like, think about the 30-year-old interns or the 20-some-year-old interns running a social media policy for the Biden administration. They weren't too young, right? Right? Or what about the activists that's fresh out of college who are dictating foreign policy and decisions just a few years ago? Those guys weren't too young. They need to chill. I mean, give me a break. All right, these young fellas, the problem is they're not under their control. They aren't part of the DC swamp. And that's exactly why they're dangerous to the establishment. These aren't interns, you see, that people can control who want to be politicians or something later on. These are outsiders, just what America wanted to have in there. And see, this audit cannot be stopped. And when the media smears didn't work, what do? They tried to physically disrupt the process. You have politicians, old women with arthritis and bad hips, okay? They went and tried to walk in there. These are the same people that talk about protecting democracy, literally tried to bum rush the door at the Department of Education and interfere with the audits. They were trying to go in there and storm the office and just let us in. We just want to go to the death. That's what we want to do. Y'all trying to shoot now, but who are the men with the guns? They want to interfere with the investigation. Let's be honest, fam. They want to go in there and be as disruptive as possible, hopefully cause a scene, okay, so they can smear this whole thing. That's what it is. Probably trying to go in there and get their file. It's too late. But what you do have to recognize is that this is a sign of panic, okay? That's what it is. That is panic. So the real question is why? Why are they so afraid? If USAID and all these other departments are clean, if the Department of Education was running by the books, if the IRS has been running by the books, if there was nothing to hide, then the audit should be welcome. But see, that's not what's happening. They're treating this like a fight for survival, their own survival, because for many of them it is. And that's exactly what's going on. I need you all to be clear about something. When this is all over, a lot of people aren't just going to be out of a job. They aren't just going to be run out of Washington. Shout out to my man, Lance Jackson. Thank you so much. We got 9 super chats. I'd like to get 20. That'll be plenty. Okay. But again, let me go back to what I was saying. These people aren't just going to be forced to leave office and be out of power. Some of these people are going to lose their freedom. See, this isn't about policy differences. This is not even about left versus right. This is about criminals in suits who thought that they were untouchable and until now. Shout out to Texas GRN. And the more they fight, the guiltier they look. Their panic is proof that the audit is working. And if they think they can stop what's coming, they have another thing coming, because the American people want to know at this point. I want to know. Because see, the truth is this is rolling like a freight train, right? And no amount of subpoenas or smear campaigns or door rushing theatrics is going to stop it. So, here's the thing. They're saying that the president doesn't, and I want to clear this up, and I want y'all to put your thinking hats on. We're going to learn something right now, because they're trying to say that the president of the United States does not have the power, okay, to control this audit. And I want to explain that to you all in some level of detail. Okay, so what Donald Trump is doing is completely within the law. And despite what these panic Democrats and these media pundits are saying, right, what you believe, you have to listen to this. So they're doing that because they're afraid. But the U.S. Constitution, it establishes a system of separation of powers, okay? And it's done to prevent any one branch of government from becoming too powerful, okay? So while Congress controls the allocation, you got 3 branches of government. Congress controls the allocation of funds, money. The president, he's the head of the executive branch. That's 2. All right. And he has a sole authority over how and when the funds are dispensed. And this is a fundamental principle of the Constitution. And of course, the 3rd branch is the judiciary. But this directly counters the Democratic opposition claiming that Trump's audits are unconstitutional. So check this out. Power of the purse versus the power of execution. Okay. We're talking about the purse and the power of execution. Let's say you're the wife. You give your husband $100 to go pay a bill. He's the one to determine when the bill gets paid. He can't use that money to pay something else, but he doesn't have to go pay that gas bill. Okay, he can't get that money to his little side chick. Here you go, baby. Here's $40. I bought you $40 in a chicken sandwich. He can't use that. He can't use it for something else, but he can definitely hold it until he's ready to pay it. See, Congress controls appropriations, but the president controls spending. Now, if I recall, and this is going to be boring, okay, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7 of the U.S. Constitution, it says this: no money shall be drawn from the Treasury of the United States, from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations by law. And what this means is that Congress has the authority to allocate funds. Okay. In other words, Congress has the power to set money aside. Okay. And say where the money should go. But it does not have the authority to execute those expenditures. Okay. You can set the money on the desk, but the president has to go pay people. Shout out to African Dyadic. And so that power lies solely within the executive branch, meaning that once a budget is passed, it's up to the president to determine when and how the money is spent. So the president has all these different agencies: Department of Environmental Quality, Department of Education, Defense Department, DHS, USAID, Department of Education. Okay, those are the people he uses to send out the checks.